and it's a Microsoft Hero SKU for SMB customers and also offers you premium incentives. So it should definitely be a big focus for you also. So we're running today's session on Teams webinar. We've got quite a few attendees this afternoon. So we're going to keep everyone muted for the duration of the session, but if we have time at the end, we may unmute for questions. But feel free at any time to ask questions throughout using the chat facility, and we can come to these at the end also. The session will also be recorded, and you'll get a copy of the recordings and also the slide deck and a Q&A document if there's any questions we can't answer. So this is what we're going to be discussing today. So to start will be a short introduction into the current landscape and why Business Premium is important. Then looking at Business Premium's key features and benefits, and then the upsell opportunities. So looking at what your customer is currently using and what they would get if they move to Business Premium. Also, moving on to the benefits to you as MSPs in selling Business Premium, and a short section on objection handling. We'll then finish with an introduction to Microsoft 365 Lighthouse, which is a new unified console specifically for Business Premium and E3 customers, which will allow you to view and manage your customers' security solutions from one place. So at the end, there'll also be an opportunity for questions and answers. So the world has changed a lot in the last 18 months. We're dealing with a business landscape that is markedly different from what it looked like even a few months ago. So employees are working from home or from multiple locations, and they're using a plethora of devices. Sorry, I think I just had a question saying they couldn't hear me talking.
Is anyone else having trouble with the audio? No, everyone else.
Okay, no problem. Perfect. So, as I said, they're using I've lost my train of thought. Sorry. So they're using a plethora of devices. So some personal, some company owned, and remote work in some form is here to stay. So let's do it right. And with that, there are three things which are top of mind for our customers. So the first one would be, how can we do remote work better and ensure employees stay productive and connected? The second is, how do we ensure security of their data and devices in a distributed work environment? And the third being, and how can we manage costs in the face of uncertainty? So let's first go deeper into where we see the next era of growth opportunity for partners. So customers know that work from anywhere is here to stay, with 70% of employees looking for continued flexible and remote work options. But with it come increased security risks. There's hardly a day that goes without the news of new ransomware or phishing attack. And in fact, in a World Economic Forum, they estimate a 238% increase in cyber attacks from February to April last year. So what customers need is a solution that can promise productivity from anywhere along with security. So, however, with this, most SMBs are not equipped to handle these security threats. So they can't handle them in-house, and they're looking to IT partners like you for help. So, in fact, 90% of SMBs say they would switch IT providers if offered a more comprehensive security solution. So the good news is we have a solution with Microsoft 365 Business Premium. So this provides you comprehensive, secure remote work solution to help address these needs. It brings together your favorite productivity tools from Word, Excel, Outlook, and Microsoft Teams, along with advanced remote access, advanced security, and device management capabilities. Basically, it's one solution that has all that you need to run and grow your business while having peace of mind that your business information is protected. So I'll just move into talk about the key features and benefits. So Business Premium brings you Microsoft Teams. You can bring everyone in your team on the same page, wherever they work, with group chat, online meetings, calling and web conferencing. Plus, you can stay connected with your customers, partners, and vendors through online meetings, as well as collaborate on shared files and documents. So Microsoft Teams solves for the communication and collaboration needs of a diverse workforce. So you can stay on top of your work day by easily accessing your files, chats and apps all in one place across desktop, web and also mobile. So you can use Teams for informal one-on-one or group chats, or you can have conversations in a channel. It enables you to share information in a transparent way for a faster decision making. And you can also collaborate in real time by doing things like authoring files and sharing them quickly and easily. And with people inside and outside your company, you can share this sort of information. Plus, with shared documents in the cloud, you get the benefit of version control and data loss prevention. So all meetings provide a full collaboration experience so that you have everything as you need in one place. You can stay connected with an intelligent meeting solution supporting sharing video and audio conferencing. And it's all you can join from a range of platforms. As mentioned, you can join from your desktop, your browser, mobile, any meeting room devices. So let's just take a closer look at meetings itself. So Microsoft Teams offers a complete meeting solution. So you can use Teams within all types of meetings, providing a contextual experience so that you have the context and content you need right at your fingertips before, during and after a meeting, including things like conversation history, files and meeting notes. Also, no worries if you do miss a meeting. Team members can access recordings with transcribed and translated text that is indexed so that people can search for content relevant for them. Teams also supports a range of intelligent devices and services which can understand the spoken and even unspoken tone of meetings, even when we're not in the room. So carry these insights into a broader team experience and create opportunities for everyone to collaborate in more immersive ways. Teams also allows you to schedule and join in meetings with others without technology getting in the way. So as well as that, customers are not aware that meetings is a core capability of Teams, and they may be using different point solutions. So it is common to work on Teams with contractors, consultants, or other types of people outside the boundaries of your company. So guest access allows those people to fully participate and collaborate right along with you, including things like scheduling a Teams meeting with anyone who has a valid business or consumer email address, making and receiving phone calls from anywhere with a cloud-based phone system built in Teams. So enabling secure access is really the first step towards enabling remote work. With Microsoft 365 Business Premium, you can protect against lost or stolen passwords by using additional layer of security using multi-factor authentication. You can provide the right people with the right access to work apps using Azure AD and enable secure remote desktop access with Azure Virtual Desktop. So you might know that passwords are actually the weakest link in a security chain, and without any additional verification, a single point of failure. That's why we believe strongly that if you only do one thing to help protect yourself, it should be to turn on multi-factor authentication, which can prevent 99.9% of identity attacks. So Microsoft supports a broad range of authentication options to fit the needs of your business and your users. So passwordless methods help make MFA more convenient for users. So passwordless Microsoft MFA credentials include things like Microsoft Authenticator. So this is used for the greatest flexibility, convenience and cost. So we recommend using Microsoft Authenticator mobile app. It supports biometrics, push notifications, and one-time passcodes for any Azure AD connected app. It's free to download from the Apple and Android app stores. You've also got Windows Hello. So for a great built-in experience, you use Windows Hello on the PC. It uses your face or fingerprint to sign in automatically. And then you've got FIDO2 security keys, which are available in a USB, also NFC enabled badge or biometric key. And then you've got, the Microsoft have already got over 100 million users of passwordless authentication. And this number is constantly growing. So if you're hesitant to turn on MFA, there are ways to minimize disruption and make it a smooth transition for your users. With the right access policies, you can prompt users for MFA only when it's necessary, using things like conditional access that I'll cover next. So you can also use self-service portals for quick registration and password reset, saving your help desk thousands or even millions of pounds a year. So in a distributed work environment, providing the right people with the right access becomes critical. So with Azure AD, conditional access, you can control where, when, and who connects to the Office apps. So for example, you could create a policy that blocks access when someone attempts to log in from a country in which you don't do business. Or you could use conditional access to restrict access if a user is logging in from an unrecognized and potentially compromised device. So plus, you combine MFA and conditional access policies, for example, requiring MFA when someone accesses your work data from a location that's not trusted, like a country in which you don't do business in. Last year in April, Microsoft announced that they were bringing the full capabilities of Azure AD Premium P1 to Microsoft 365 Business Premium. And then with this, you get the benefit of powerful features like App Proxy that helps employees to remotely access on-premises web apps without the need of opening broad access to a company's network. Also, with dynamic groups, you can help reduce the administrative overhead of adding and removing users from security groups. So this, for example, this is like assigning the users to a sales group. So use dynamic groups to assign users to groups automatically, then use these groups to grant access to applications. So another aspect of enabling remote access is enabling remote desktop access. So Azure Virtual Desktop is a comprehensive desktop and app virtualization service running on Azure. It's the only virtual desktop infrastructure that delivers simplified management, multi-session Windows 10 or Windows 11 optimizations for Office, and support for remote desktop services, these types of environments. So with Azure Virtual Desktop, your employees can access any remote app on any device while you maintain central management and security of your users' desktops. So some scenarios I'll give you where deploying Azure Virtual Desktop might be an SMB using remote desktop services today. Azure Virtual Desktop simplifies the licensing and costs less. And then if you have apps with sensitive information such as medical or financial information, and you want to make sure that data is securely accessed by users working from home, you can easily enable this scenario by utilizing Azure Virtual Desktop. So Azure Virtual Desktop creates a virtual desktop for users to access remotely. So employees can only access that information in that remote virtualized session and won't be able to save any data on their local workstation. So next, let's talk about how Microsoft 365 Business Premium helps you defend against cyber threats like phishing and ransomware. Also safeguard your business and customer data while helping you gain visibility into cloud app usage so you can uncover hidden risks. So with the shift to work from home, it's come as an increase in cyber threats like phishing. And Microsoft Defender for Office 365 helps safeguard your user's identity and defend against cyber threats. So with increased cyber threats like phishing attacks and ransomware, we know your customers are concerned. So M365 Business Premium protects your businesses from these external threats by doing things like giving you access to the same enterprise grade services and protections used by many of the world's largest companies. So things like links are checked in real time to warn if it warns you if a destination is malicious, if it has a malicious site with ATP safe links. So when a user clicks on a URL in an email message or in an Office file, the link is checked by ATP safe links and is identified as blocked, malicious, or safe before opening the website. So, for example, a user will get a warning page if the link is deemed malicious. And then the ATP safe attachments feature in Business Premiums scans each and every attachment coming in via email. So when an ATP safe attachment policy is in place, email attachments are opened and tested in a virtual sandbox environment. So if determined to be malicious, the attachment won't open. And then this protection also applies to attachments shared via SharePoint Online, OneDrive, or Teams. And then AI-powered anti-phishing intelligence helps protect against impersonation and spoofing with ATP anti-phishing. So to combat the latest phishing methods where attackers impersonate a person or a brand, machine learning is used to analyze past email patterns and relationships to find anomalies that indicate spoofing has occurred. So by enforcing Microsoft Defender malware protection across all your company's Windows 10 or Windows 11 devices, you can help prevent users from interacting with ransomware and malicious web locations, and also protect files in key system folders from changes made by ransomware. So most businesses deal with a variety of sensitive information, like customer credit card numbers, for example, date of birth, or even intellectual property that is core to the running of the business. So keeping this kind of information safe can be a daunting task for any business, but especially for SMBs. So Business Premium helps you protect your business data and all sensitive customer or employee information from accidental leaks by doing things by utilizing data loss prevention capabilities. So these DLP policies can help to identify, monitor, and protect sensitive information through deep content analysis. So even if your staff forget to apply these controls, so it includes pre-configured templates that can help detect specific types of sensitive information being communicated, such as things like credit card numbers, date of birth, or even locale-specific personally identified information. So it also provides policy tips. So this can help educate and prevent end users from accidental sharing of sensitive information by displaying a policy tip in Outlook. And with Microsoft Business Premium, your employees can easily encrypt email and documents. Or impose controls such as do not print or do not forward. This helps you communicate securely with your customers or people outside your company. This ensures that only the intended recipient can read the message. So now I'm just going to talk about Azure Information Protection, which it gives you the options to classify and protect information and apply appropriate controls. So with Azure Information Protection, you can control whether a document can be edited, printed, or viewed by non-employees. So it applies to documents no matter where they go, whether through FileShare or SharePoint, and for example. And then you can track and revoke access also. So for example, if an employee has left a company. So this is a new capability with full Azure AD Premium P1 inclusion. In modern businesses with bring your own device environments and work from home setups, IT departments are often not aware of all the cloud applications that their employees use for work. So as a result, administrators often have concerns about unauthorized access to corporate data, possible data leakage, and other security risks inherent in their applications. You can actually address these concerns by using Cloud App Discovery. So Cloud App Discovery is a feature of Microsoft Cloud App Security. It's also available with Azure Active Directory Premium P1. So it enables you to discover cloud applications that are used by your employees in your organization and view reports to analyze your environment. So Cloud App Discovery analyzes your traffic logs against a catalog of over 16,000 cloud apps. Then the apps are ranked and scored based on more than 80 risk factors to provide you with ongoing visibility to cloud use, things like shadow IT and the risks shadow IT poses to your organization. So with Cloud App Discovery, you can do things like discover applications in use and measure usage by number of users, volume of traffic, or number of web requests to that application. You can identify the users that are using an application. You can export data for additional offline analysis. You can prioritize applications to bring under IT control and integrate applications easily to enable single sign-on and user management. And as employees work from multiple locations and use both personal and company-owned devices, you want a way to manage and secure these devices and the work data on them. So this is where Microsoft Intune comes in. It's easy to manage PCs and mobile devices, so you have peace of mind that your business data is safeguarded. And then plus with Autopilot, it becomes easy to quickly provision and deploy new devices to employees remotely. So there's a couple of ways to approach device management, one being mobile application management. So this is typically for personally owned devices. So that the company only has control over only the applications used for business purposes. So users can use their personal devices to access organizational resources. For example, you can apply app protection policies to help ensure that corporate data is only saved on OneDrive for Business, rather than personally stored in their own personal environment. And then you've also got mobile device management. So typically this is used for company-owned devices now. So your users enroll their devices and use certificates to communicate with Intune. So you have the ability to configure mobile device policies such as enforcing complex PIN or passwords. You can remote wipe or lock. You can do device encryption or things like that. And then mobile application management is more common in SMB scenarios due to bring your own device environments. So you can manage these policies through the simple setup wizard. And I'll just show you actually a quick example in depth. So with remote and hybrid work, employees are increasingly using personal mobile devices to access work data. And you may be concerned if your work data is secure. So with Microsoft 365 Business Premium, it has multi-layer protection, which also protects data at the app level. With the need for traditional, you wouldn't need the traditional sandboxing. Because it leverages the user identity and its approach, it can enable multi-identity usage of apps. So this is where app policies are intelligent enough to only apply to data applicable to corporate accounts on employee-owned devices. So some of the capabilities here include things like app encryption at rest, app access control with PIN or credentials, save as, copy paste restrictions, app level selective wipe, managed web browsing, secure viewing of PDFs, images and videos. And Intune is the only mobility management solution that can control Office with this much granular control without compromising on the end user experience. So with mobile application management, Microsoft has built an invisible wall between the personal data and corporate data without impacting the user experience. So employees are able to use apps like Word and Outlook that they know and love, while at the same time IT is able to protect the data contained within the apps and devices. So we're just going to take a closer look at how app level policies can help keep company data and information secure. So an example is, for example, a user receives a work email through her managed Outlook account with an attached Excel spreadsheet. This contains information she needs for a report. The user opens the attachment in her Excel mobile application to find information she needs. She then wants to copy the information here into her report. But when she tries to paste it into her personal notepad, it doesn't work. This is actually because the personal notepad is not a managed app, and because we have applied policies that restrict copy, paste and cut functions to only apps that are part of the managed app ecosystem. So this would be for Intune enrolled devices. So the user, she opens her Microsoft Word mobile app, which is managed by Intune, and she's successfully able to paste her information. Now, the user wants to save the working copy of her report to her personal OneDrive account so that she can access it from her home computer. Because her personal OneDrive account is not one of the managed applications, she's unable to save it here because we've applied policies restricting the ability to save to only apps that are part of the managed app ecosystem. So the user must save her work copy to her managed OneDrive business account, which means she does not want to work on the report from another device. So this device will have to be enrolled for management. And then by using the mobile application management capabilities of Intune, you can help prevent leakage of important company data and also make sure that this information doesn't get into the wrong hands. So you can integrate Microsoft Defender for Endpoint with Microsoft Intune as mobile threat defense solution. So integration can help you prevent security breaches and limit the impact of breaches within an organization. You can easily manage and secure Windows devices through MDM policies. You do things like get automatic updates, enforce Defender antivirus through simple toggle switches, and use Intune to configure BitLocker drive encryption on devices that run both Windows 10 and 11. So traditionally getting a PC ready involves a lot of heavy lifting. For example, you'd be spending a time building and customizing images that will later be deployed to devices. Windows Autopilot introduced a new approach that cuts time in deploying new devices to users. So wherever your users may be, it can be up and running quickly. From the user's perspective, it only takes a few simple operations to make the device ready and easy to use. And the only interaction required from the end user is to connect to a network and to verify the credentials. So everything beyond this is automated and reduces the effort and the resources needed from IT. So leveraging cloud-based services, it can reduce the overall cost for deploying, managing and retiring services by enabling you to do a few things like automatically join devices by Azure Active Directory or through Azure Active Directory via hybrid Azure Active Directory join, and then auto enroll devices into MDM devices such as Microsoft Intune, create and auto assign devices to configuration groups based on a device's profile, and customize out-of-the-box experience, content specific to the organization. So I'm just going to pass you on to my colleague, Christina, and she will be going through the rest of the workshop.
Thanks, Minnie. So now that you know what the benefits are for your customers, how do you then go about selling it to them? We first need to understand what your customer is currently using. So this slide just gives you a bit of an overview about what is included in the Microsoft 365 for Business SKUs. So Business Basic is the cloud services solution. So you've got Exchange Online, Teams, SharePoint, OneDrive, and the web versions of Word, PowerPoint, and Excel. Business Standard is a mixture of cloud services plus your desktop apps. And then we've got Business Premium being the hero SKU, and what sets it apart from Business Standard is that conversation around security. And then finally, we've also got M365 apps. So these are just the desktop apps. So it's a great solution for customers that have their own on-premise Exchange or on-premise SharePoint. And it's pretty much the polar opposite of Business Basic. So that gives you a bit of a summary around the business licenses available from Microsoft for SMB. We'll look into them a little bit more now. So what if your customer is using Exchange Online Plan 1? What's good about Exchange Online Plan 1? What benefits does it bring? Firstly, it doesn't cost a lot. It's £3 per user per month, and the total cost of ownership is a lot lower than if you're owning your own on-premise Exchange. So you're not responsible for the patching, the maintenance, the running costs, and also the costs of replacing it when it reaches end of life. You've also got the flexibility of Exchange Online emails. So these are all in the cloud, so you can access them from everywhere. And because it's in Microsoft's cloud, it's bound by their security and compliance policies. So from a productivity and security and also cost perspective, it is a really good product. But if it's the one license your customer has got, think of all of the other areas of work that they're missing out on by having Exchange Online Plan 1, and what pain points can we think of from these? What else could they not be able to do? For example, there's no data storage in the cloud, there's no collaborative working options, no real communication tools, for example, chat and calling. You've got also reliance on third-party applications or on-premise infrastructure, which obviously then increases their costs. You might also have customers that are on Business Basic. So again, we know it's a really good value solution at only £3.80 per user per month. And with this, you've got the web applications and cloud applications. It's in this SKU that we introduced Teams, SharePoint and OneDrive. So you've got a lot more collaborative working options here. The ability to share and collaborate on files, communicate via chat, host online meetings, etc. But the potential pain points Business Basic customers might have is the inability to work offline. So they are reliant on a web connection to use any of their applications. They might also have a heavy reliance on third-party applications for security. There's also no mobile device management solutions in Business Basic, and there could also be limitations on productivity as the cloud applications don't have as much functionality as the desktop versions do. Now, when we ask partners what licenses their customers are currently on, Business Standard is more often than not the most common answer that we get. So it's under £10 for all your desktop and cloud applications. You can install it on 5 different devices, so you can work on your phone, a tablet, a desktop, a laptop, wherever and whenever you are. So you've also got additional applications such as MileIQ, which is a travel expenses tracker. You've also got bookings in there as well to schedule and manage appointments. Now, some of the other things that you do get included in Business Standard that aren't in Basic is mobile device management solutions. Now, this is crucial, as Minnie said, when you've got multiple people being mobile, using different devices, especially those that aren't company owned, and you've also got people that have data on their own devices. The version that's in Business Standard is a very basic version. It only looks after the Office side of things. So it's called Mobile Device Management for Office 365, and in that case, it doesn't extend to any third-party SaaS applications, so not as extensive as Intune in Business Premium. You've still got the ability to wipe corporate data from devices. You can still configure individual or blanket policies and block any unsupported devices. For example, if you only want people with company-issued devices to access data. And you also still have full visibility of compliant and non-compliant devices. So it is still a very feature-rich product, but much less as extensive as Intune. But where Business Standard does lack in certain areas such as security. So it's in this case that you need to identify pain points here. So perhaps their inability to manage or enable remote workers with advanced tools that you can get with AVD or Intune that you don't get with Business Standard. So if your customers' security needs are being met outside of Microsoft, then perhaps we can suggest they've got a reliance on third-party applications, and therefore their costs are being increased in order to remain secure or compliant. You've also got the inability to manage bring your own devices, or the need to manage data outside of the organisation with Azure Information Protection. So looking at all those things, if your customer were to move to Business Premium, what would they get from that? Essentially, they'd benefit from all of this. And how much is that going to cost them? If your customers were to move from Business Standard, then it's literally only an additional £5.70 per month, but they're getting all of those additional security features that you can see at the bottom there. And when you look at this objectively from a third-party solution standpoint, if you were to go out and buy third-party solutions that handles Endpoint Manager, information protection, conditional access, remote desktop services like AVD, Defender for antivirus, Defender for Office 365, and also cloud app security as well. Obviously, it depends which vendors you go for, but you could be spending anywhere from 20, 30, 40 pounds per user per month for third-party security, whereas the fact that you get all of that for £5.70 additionally with Business Premium, you're getting great value for money there. And when you consider that they're designed to work with everything that you've already got and be compatible with no gaps in visibility, and from a management perspective, all of it is administered from the Microsoft 365 Admin Center, you've got that single pane of glass view, which means you can manage all of that rather than from individual apps and portals. So everything is really intelligently and simply managed. Now with Business Premium, you're also getting these additional value products, things like bookings, MileIQ, Power Automate, Power Apps, Forms, that we haven't discussed in great detail today, but it all adds to the value that Business Premium can deliver for you and for your customers. So here are some examples of some of the sorts of things you can ask your customers to find their pain points, really. So you can ask your customer how they currently work together on internal and customer and partner projects, and how they also share information externally. Ask what applications and solutions they're currently using, ask them about data access and what the impact of a data breach might be, ask them how much they're spending on third-party solutions. And then when they're answering, listen out for buzzwords around security, collaboration, mobile device management. Listen out for them having any breaches in the past or using a ton of different vendors for different solutions. And your solution for that is obviously Business Premium. So you can manage and secure devices, and this can often take a lot of time, especially if you allow bring your own device and use solutions from multiple vendors. But Microsoft 365 is easy to deploy, and you can manage app services and mobile devices from a central cloud-based portal. There's no infrastructure needed and no future updates to purchase. Microsoft 365 also includes a comprehensive compliance center and also compliance controls that will help your customers stay up to date with standards and regulations that apply to their industry and region. And Microsoft 365 also gives you a robust set of tools in a single location that obviously creates efficiencies, it reduces costs, and most importantly, protects your customers' data. So we've talked a lot about the technology capabilities and customer benefits, but now let's look at what the business benefits of Microsoft 365 Business Premium are for you as partners. Most of you are probably selling Office 365, but with Microsoft 365, you have the opportunity to elevate the baseline security for your customers as they work from home, and it can help that transition and shift to the cloud. The increased cybersecurity threats also present opportunities for you as IT partners to drive growth through managed services, managed security services. But you need to question, one, how are you going to transition into security services or expand your existing portfolio of security services beyond antivirus? How do you standardize these services across all of your customers and deliver them at scale quickly and easily? And how do you do so without increasing your costs or complexity? And the answer to that, again, is Business Premium. So you can monetize with advanced service offerings. So what our most successful partners are doing is using Business Premium as a foundation, and on top of which they build successful high margin managed services practices. So Forrester, in a recent research study, discovered that the most profitable partners have at least 4 or more managed services. And these are normally across things like collaboration, threat protection, identity, and endpoint management. And then finally, reduced your cost and complexity with an integrated solution across productivity and security. So with Business Premium, you get the benefit of a number of different capabilities, from AVD to Azure AD to Intune to Teams, and it's all in this one solution that's designed to work together. So again, it reduces your licensing complexity as well as the learning curve costs for your support department, your help desk. And finally, with that integrated admin console with step-by-step guided wizards, it's really easy to deploy and get started with, and you only have to deal with that one bill and that one license. And all of this today that we've discussed is why partners around the world are using Microsoft 365 Business Premium as a foundation for building their managed services. In fact, in the second consecutive year, Microsoft have tripled their run rate of Microsoft 365 Business Premium seats, and they're sold by over 19,000 partners globally. And beyond the sales numbers, what Microsoft 365 Business Premium brings to the table is an unparalleled value proposition for the customer, with that one solution to run their business securely from anywhere. And this is why Microsoft is seeing a 2.5 times increase in Business Premium seats from customers who previously haven't had any Microsoft 365 solution. So not only does Business Premium provide you with the opportunity to drive further upsell to existing Business Basic or Business Standard customers and grow your recurring revenue with managed services, but it also will help you acquire new customers as well. So as we've discussed, Business Premium is Microsoft's hero SKU, and as a result, earns you some additional premium incentives from Microsoft. So if you're a silver or gold competency partner, you're eligible for incentives, which are essentially a percentage of your monthly billed revenue back from Microsoft every month. So you get 4% for any modern workplace and security licenses, for example, any Office 365 or M365 licenses, Project, Visio, Business Voice, any of the standalone security products like EM&S or Intune, pretty much anything that falls under the modern workplace and security umbrella. Then Business Premium, Microsoft 365 E3 and E5 then earn you an additional 5% incentive. So a total of 9% for those SKUs, which is a big payback on top of the 15% margin you already make through Inti. Then there's also another incentive for bringing over new customers to Office or M365. So if you have customers that are still on premise, or if they're using competing solutions like G Suite, for example, and if you bring them over to Office 365 or M365 and they bill over $250 per month, which depending on Forex is normally about £180, then you can earn 10% of their monthly billed revenue for 12 months. All of these incentives work in conjunction with one another. So let's say you brought over that brand new customer to Business Premium, then you're looking at a 19% rebate back from Microsoft for 12 months. So if that's not an incentive to sell Business Premium, then I'm not really sure what is. So just before we move on to Lighthouse, we're going to touch quickly on some objection handling. And these objections on the screen here tend to be the most common ones we see around Business Premium. So the first being that Microsoft isn't a security company. It's simply not true. Microsoft have invested over $1 billion in the security of its customers in the last year, and they have been rated an industry leader in security solutions by Gartner. And Microsoft Defender is consistently rated a top antivirus product in the tech press. The second one is normally around I'm okay if my employees are using free solutions. Again, even the small business, the smallest of businesses are at risk for data loss, and free solutions don't provide you the level of security, control and management that an SMB needs to run effectively. This is another that we see quite a lot. I think Microsoft 365 is too expensive. We've discussed obviously the costs of Business Premium, and you get all of those productivity, collaboration and security tools in that one service, and typically it's less than the cost of the individual solutions. So Business Premium could actually potentially save your customers money. And then the final one is normally around competing solutions. So why is Microsoft 365 better than Google Apps? Microsoft 365 was built for businesses first rather than consumers, and it's a complete, fully integrated solution with enterprise grade security from one supplier. So you've got no third-party add-ons. So introducing Microsoft 365 Lighthouse. It's quite a new solution to Microsoft, so we wanted to include it in today's workshop. So we know that in the SMB space, partners play a critical role in managing customers' IT environments. And this is why Microsoft are making great investments in new partner tools to help you deliver these managed services to your customers and accelerate your productivity and profitability. Microsoft 365 Lighthouse is a unified portal that helps managed service providers secure devices, data, and users at scale for small and medium-sized business customers that are using Business Premium, and also Microsoft 365 E3 as well. So it simplifies the onboarding of tenants by recommending security configuration baselines that are tailored to SMBs. And it also provides you multi-tenant views across all of your customers' environments. So let's talk about what Lighthouse is, how it can help you secure and manage your M365 Business Premium customers at scale. So we've got 4 areas to cover today: customer management at scale, proactive risk management, standardized configuration, and improved security. So we understand the challenges of managing multiple tenants today. Low value repetitive tasks require your technicians to log in and out of each customer environment individually. And it can be really difficult to get that holistic view of all of your customers' environments without advanced tooling or maintaining manual documentation. So it's not only time consuming, but it reduces your profitability per employee. So you need tools to understand the security posture and position of your customers, reduce friction for common tasks, highlight the most important actions, and also provide the ability to act on multiple customers at once. So with Microsoft 365 Lighthouse, you can scale the management of your customers, focus on what is more important, and quickly find and investigate risks, and take the action to get your customers to a healthy and secure state. Moving on to proactive risk management. The lack of centralized monitoring can lead to delays in responding to live incidents, which increases the risk for your customers. So you again need these tools that surface these critical issues and provide low friction actions to remediate. And with Lighthouse, Microsoft help you to review status, prioritize items requiring your attention, and enable you to act quickly to resolve issues and mitigate risk. With increasing cyber attacks targeting SMBs, security always remains a top priority for partners that are managing those SMB customers. Microsoft have had a lot of feedback and heard from you guys that it's really hard to monitor your tenants' environments and be able to quickly take actions and triage. So with Microsoft 365 Lighthouse, you can drill into any active threat and understand the threat details, such as its type, its severity, and also what devices are impacted as well. So you'll get the recommended action in a drill down view where you can immediately run a full scan to help mitigate the threat for your customer. You can also perform bulk actions like running full scans for multiple threats across multiple tenants and devices. And device security is critical and can be managed using device compliance policies to help protect your SMB customers' organizational data. So this enables you to have confidence that the devices across all the customers that you manage are meeting basic requirements, such as perhaps a minimum operating system version. From this overview page, you can quickly identify devices without a compliance policy, monitor the trends for the device compliance states of all the devices in the last 30 days, and information on whether or not any tenants don't have a conditional access policy that enforces device compliance. User identity security is equally important. So to help ensure the identities of users across all of the SMB customers that you manage are ensuring that they're secure and protected from risk. So with Lighthouse, you get a single unified view of risky user accounts across all of your customers. Identity-based risks can be flagged due to sign-in risk, for example, anonymous IP addresses, atypical travel, malicious IP addresses, or user-related risk, for example, leaked credentials where their user identity or account is compromised. And finally, all about standardization. So building a profitable managed service business requires standardization so that offers can be developed once and delivered to many customers, helping you create more predictable offerings while also lowering the price per customer and per user. Standardization of security policies also elevates the security of your customers, proactively reducing the risk to their business, and also making it simpler to scale your managed service offerings. There are a ton of policy recommendations for Microsoft 365 services, but before today, they've been largely focused on enterprise customers, and the guidance for SMBs doesn't exist really to easily deploy and scale the right security standards. But with Microsoft 365 Lighthouse, you're provided with a curated set of best practices that are optimized for SMBs, and these are called default baselines. And you as partners can leverage these baselines to increase the security posture of your customers. These are currently available in Lighthouse and consist of 6 steps, which cover off identity and devices. So these are conditional access policies, enforcing MFA for admin and users, blocking legacy authentication, configuring Defender for antivirus, and also enrolling devices as well. Now, I'm sure you're wondering how you can start leveraging Microsoft 365 Lighthouse for your business. It's available to your organization at no cost, and your participation in the release is key to helping Microsoft build a service that is going to help you scale your business and grow. So for any partners that are considering Lighthouse, you'll need to be a managed service provider and enrolled in the CSP program, and also servicing small and medium-sized business customers that have either Business Premium or Microsoft 365 E3 licenses, but no more than 500 licensed users in total. I've included a link on this slide here, which shows you how to access the private preview and also how to provide feedback as well. So Microsoft are looking for feedback on Lighthouse and how they can essentially improve in the SMB area. So a combination of Microsoft 365 Business Premium with Lighthouse offers unparalleled capabilities for you to deliver managed security services at scale. So with Business Premium, you've got that comprehensive foundation to build secure work from anywhere solutions with a security and productivity tech stack that's designed to work well together. And with Microsoft 365 Lighthouse, you've now got the ability to scale the delivery of security services, including managing and securing your Microsoft 365 Business Premium customers from that one singular place, building standardized offers across your customers, utilizing security baselines, and increasing operational efficiency with your existing investment at no additional cost. There's also the opportunity to identify further services upsell by elevating your existing customers' security and becoming their trusted security provider. So just to finish off, I'm conscious that we've only got 3 minutes left, but we're really excited to introduce a new partner incentive, which is here to help you accelerate your business, acquiring more premium seats and upselling existing customers with security. So this is a Microsoft incentive for business premium solely. So to be eligible, you must have sold at least 50 seats of business premium over the last 2 quarters, but this will continue to be reassessed every quarter. So if you're not eligible for this quarter, get started now so that you can qualify for next quarter. And how you'll qualify is Microsoft will consider the average number of business premium seats that you've added over the last 2 quarters. They'll add a 5% threshold to that. And then any business premium seats that you add over that threshold will earn you $20 per seat. So really exciting. It's for both new and existing customers. So your number can be achieved via either net new acquisition or upsell from existing subscriptions. And it's already started. So it's running from the 1st of October and it will end in June next year, the end of June, so on the 30th. This incentive is also on top of all of the other incentives that I mentioned earlier in the CSP indirect reseller program. So the earning potential now for business premium is massive. So it's definitely something that you should be focusing on. And with all the value it can add not only to your customers, but the additional revenue that you can get from adding wraparound managed services with your margins and also your profitability through these incentives. The earning potential with business premium is sky high now. So that is all of our content for today's session. I know we've only got a minute left, so I'm going to have a quick look and see if there's any questions in the chat box. And I shall let you all go. So David Anderson, can you confirm, is Intune now called Microsoft Endpoint Manager? It's my understanding that Intune is in Endpoint Manager, so it's not a rename, it's just part of the Endpoint Manager. Can you only monitor and manage business premium with Lighthouse? i.e., can you manage enterprise licenses such as E3 or E5? Currently, it's only available for business premium and Microsoft E3 customers, and I'm not sure whether there is anything on the roadmap to change that at the moment. Will the slides be available or just the recording? No, we'll make the slides available to you as well. So all of the links and everything that are on there, you'll get access to as well. Okay, perfect. So we've hit 3 o'clock. Great to see so many of you on today's session. If you do have any questions at all, I'm sure most of you will have our contact details, but if not, we'll put them in the chat box here so you've got access to those. And feel free to fire over any questions that we haven't been able to answer today. But thanks all for joining, really appreciate your time, and we'll see you all soon.